Chapter 1, Video 2, Blood Flow Through the Heart. So at this point in time, guys, I want to talk to you about how the blood travels through the heart. I'm skipping around a little bit. I've moved to slide 15, but I feel like learning this step prior to moving forward is more beneficial. So that's why I'm skipping around. So the blood flow through the heart. When we think about the blood flow through the heart, we're thinking about how does the blood travel through the heart and out to the body. So we have a great system of our heart pumping blood and it's sending blood to the lungs and to the body. But what order, what direction does this happen? And it's very, very, very important to understand the order in which it happens, because once you understand the order in which it happens, it'll make more sense as we talk about symptoms and different things that you'll see in patients who are experiencing heart problems. So here is the steps, and this is the order. I like to tell folks to write this out, and I will show you. I will go through it. I'll explain to you how I would like for you to write it out and remember it as we go. So step 1 is the superior and inferior vena cava. The superior and inferior vena cava are actually part of the great vessels, and they are considered veins. And we're going to get into the difference between veins and arteries in just a little bit. But for right now, take notes and know that step 1 is the superior and inferior vena cava. That is step 1, and these are considered to be veins. They bring the blood back from the body into the heart. Once the blood comes through the superior and inferior vena cava, it goes to step 2, which is the right atrium. Again, I'm going to be explaining to you what each of these parts are in just a little bit and how they work, but for right now I need you to concentrate on remembering this order. So step 2, the blood travels to the right atrium. Step 3, it travels through the tricuspid valve to get to the right ventricle. So step 3 is the tricuspid valve, and step 4 is the right ventricle. Once it leaves the right ventricle, it goes to the pulmonic valve. It goes through the pulmonic valve, which is step 5. So step 1, superior inferior vena cava. Step 2, right atrium. Step 3, tricuspid. Step 4, right ventricle. Step 5, pulmonic valve. And step 6 is the pulmonary arteries. When you're writing these steps out, I would like you to write them out, get you a piece of notebook paper, and then write steps 1 through 6 out. Just line your notebook paper going up and down and write steps 1 through 6 down the paper. And I'll explain that in a little bit, but write steps 1 through 6 on the left-hand side down the paper. Step 7, you can move back up to the top of the paper and write step 7, which is the lungs, in the center of the paper. And then to the right of step 7, I want you to write the remainder of the steps up and down in a row, like I just explained to you, and it'll make sense. It'll make sense once we get further into the lecture. So step 1, superior inferior vena cava. Step 2, right atrium. Step 3, tricuspid valve. Step 4, right ventricle. Step 5 is the pulmonic valve. Step 6 is the pulmonary artery. Step 7 is the lungs. It's going to be written to the right of what you just wrote. And then step 8, you're going to continue to move right on the paper and list steps 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 down the paper, just like we did steps 1 through 6. Step 8 is the pulmonary veins. The blood leaves the pulmonary, it leaves the lungs, goes to the pulmonary veins. Then step 9 is the left atrium. Step 10 is the mitral valve. Step 11 is the left ventricle. Step 12 is the aortic valve. Step 13 is the aorta. And step 14 is the body, which is often referred to as systemic circulation. So please remember these steps in order. And then I would like for you to label 1 through 6 down the paper. So 1 through 6 on the left-hand side. Go over, put 7, which is the lungs, in the center, and then go over and put 8 through 14 down the right-hand side of the paper. And again, that will make sense as we move forward. But for right now, I need you to focus on remembering this order. Remembering this order is super, super, super important. And there's no way to remember it other than just plan it to your memory. So write it, work on it, whatever it takes for you to remember these steps. But please remember these steps, because you will see these steps again. You have to know these steps. I can't tell you enough. I can't explain the importance of knowing these steps enough. So just make sure that you know the order in which this blood flow travels down through the heart. I will be going to a separate video, and we're going to start discussing the heart chambers, and the valves and the structure of the heart. And I think all of this will make the blood flow will make sense to you as we move forward in the lecture.